What if you could drift off to sleep with a tale of regal splendor, experiencing the enchanting atmosphere of a British king's coronation? In this sleep story, we'll take you on a soothing journey through the coronation of King Charles III, immersing you in the majestic moments and emotions of the day. Let the captivating narrative of King Charles III's ascension to the throne and the love and loyalty of the British people lull you into a peaceful slumber. In the heart of London, a contagious excitement swept through the city as the anticipation for the upcoming coronation of the new British king reached its peak. The cobblestone streets, lined with centuries-old buildings, thrummed with energy and whispers about the impending event. The alleys and thoroughfares, usually bustling with the daily routines of Londoners, were now filled with eager faces sharing stories, gossip, and hopes for the future of the nation under the rule of King Charles III. The city itself seemed to be a living, breathing character in this grand tale, its historic buildings adorned with Union Jack flags, and the River Thames shimmered under the golden sun, as if paying homage to the soon-to-be king. The scent of fresh flowers and the aroma of traditional British treats wafted through the air, mingling with the hum of excited conversations. The story of King Charles III was unlike any other, a tale woven from years of perseverance, patience, and a deep love for his country. His journey to the throne had been filled with trials and tribulations, and his ascent symbolized a turning point for the nation. The people of Britain hoped that his reign would bring unity, healing, and a renewed sense of pride for their homeland. As the coronation drew nearer, the citizens of London came together in a display of patriotism and camaraderie, united by a common purpose. Artisans and craftsmen worked tirelessly to create intricate decorations that would adorn the streets, while musicians practiced for the grand performances that would echo through the historic halls of the city. Visitors from across the globe flocked to London, eager to witness the dawn of a new era. The city's hotels, restaurants, and attractions bustled with an influx of tourists, who marveled at the rich history and vibrant culture that had captured the world's imagination. The once familiar cityscape had transformed into an epic stage where the story of King Charles III's coronation would unfold in all its splendor. As the day approached, the people of Britain held their breath, their hearts swelling with pride and anticipation. This coronation represented not only the crowning of a new king, but the promise of a future filled with unity, passion, and the rebirth of a nation that had weathered countless storms. London, in all its regal glory, stood ready to embrace the momentous event and the exciting new chapter it signified. As the city of London bustled with preparations for the grand coronation, within the walls of the magnificent Buckingham Palace, King Charles III and his beloved wife Camilla, the Queen Consort, found themselves in a tempest of emotions. The vast palace, steeped in centuries of royal history, seemed to envelop the couple in an atmosphere of reverence and expectation. The royal pair, standing in the opulent halls adorned with lavish tapestries and priceless artwork, could feel the immense weight of the responsibilities that would soon rest upon their shoulders. The echoes of their footsteps, as they strolled through the palace, seemed to remind them of the footsteps of those who had come before them, setting a standard for leadership and grace that they were now tasked with upholding. As they prepared for the coronation, Charles and Camilla took solace in each other's company, seeking comfort and strength in their shared love and commitment to their country. They spent long hours in quiet contemplation, discussing their aspirations for their reign and the legacy they hoped to create. Both were keenly aware that the eyes of the world would be upon them, and they understood the significance of their roles as symbols of unity, hope, and progress for the British people. Camilla, as Queen Consort, devoted herself to supporting her husband and ensuring that their partnership would be one of stability and love. She offered her unwavering encouragement and wisdom, helping Charles navigate the complex web of royal duties, diplomatic relationships, and public expectations. Together, they formed a powerful and compassionate team, determined to usher in a new era of progress and unity for their kingdom. Despite the inevitable apprehension that accompanied their ascent to the throne, Charles and Camilla were resolute in their commitment to the well-being of their people. They envisioned, as the days grew shorter and the time for the coronation drew near, the royal couple's determination to make a meaningful impact on their nation only grew stronger. They knew that they had been given a unique opportunity to create lasting change, and they were steadfast in their desire to honor the trust that had been placed in them. Hand in hand, King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla prepared to step into their new roles, their hearts filled with love, courage, and an unwavering dedication to their people. The night before the coronation, the grand ballroom of Buckingham Palace was transformed into a breathtaking spectacle for a lavish banquet held in honor of King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla. Vaulted ceilings soared overhead, adorned with intricate gold leaf detailing and sparkling crystal chandeliers that cast a warm, enchanting glow across the room. The walls were draped with sumptuous velvet tapestries, and towering windows looked out onto the palace gardens, where illuminated fountains danced beneath the stars. The banquet was a celebration of British heritage and a testament to the kingdom's rich history. The tables, dressed in fine linens and strewn with fragrant rose petals, were laden with an exquisite feast that showcased the best of British cuisine. Guests indulged in delicacies such as roast venison, Cornish pasties, and wild mushroom tartlets, while sipping on some of the world's finest wines and spirits. The guest list was a dazzling array of international dignitaries, esteemed nobility, and cherished friends of the royal family. Heads of state, ambassadors, and monarchs from around the world had gathered to honor the ascension of King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla, their vibrant attire and glittering jewels adding to the opulence of the evening. The atmosphere was electric, as laughter and lively conversation filled the air. A string quartet played a harmonious melody, the notes weaving seamlessly with the sounds of clinking glassware and the rustle of silk gowns. Every now and then, the music would give way to moments of heartfelt speeches and toasts as the attendees took turns expressing their admiration and well-wishes for the royal couple. In the midst of the festivities, King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla moved gracefully among their guests, their warm smiles and genuine gratitude radiating from within. They took the time to exchange pleasantries with each visitor, forging new alliances and strengthening existing bonds. Their grace, humility, and unmistakable love for one another captivated the hearts of everyone in attendance. As the evening progressed, the guests were treated to a mesmerizing performance by a troupe of dancers, their fluid movements telling the story of Britain's storied past and the bright future that awaited under the rule of King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla. The ballroom reverberated with thunderous applause as the performance drew to a close, and the guests raised their glasses in a toast to the soon-to-be-crowned King and Queen. The night unfolded like a dream, as the hours slipped away in a whirl of laughter, music, and shared memories. As the clock struck midnight, the guests bid their farewells, leaving the royal couple to reflect on the unforgettable evening and the momentous day that lay ahead. With hearts full of joy and anticipation, King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla retired to their chambers, ready to embrace their destiny as the new leaders of the British realm. On the day of the coronation, the streets of London were transformed into a breathtaking tableau of celebration and unity. The usually gray and bustling cityscape had been brought to life with a riot of colors and fragrances, as if it were a scene from a vivid dream. Every corner, every lamppost, and every building seemed to be adorned with vibrant flags and bunting, fluttering proudly in the gentle breeze. The Union Jack, the symbol of the nation's unity and strength, was displayed prominently alongside the flags of the Commonwealth, representing the deep bonds shared among these diverse countries. The air was perfumed with the intoxicating scent of flowers, as elaborate arrangements of roses, lilies, and daffodils festooned the streets. Florists had worked tirelessly to create these stunning displays, each bloom hand-picked to represent the love, hope, and loyalty that the citizens of London felt towards their new king and queen consort. The vibrant petals seemed to whisper a message of renewal and optimism. As the morning sun rose higher in the sky, the streets began to fill with a sea of eager faces. People from all walks of life had come to witness this momentous occasion, their excitement palpable in the air. Families and friends gathered together, dressed in their finest attire, as they staked out prime locations to catch a glimpse of the royal procession. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation and joy, as citizens exchanged stories and shared their dreams for the future of their beloved nation under the rule of King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla. The streets of London were not the only places buzzing with excitement. Westminster Abbey, the historic site of the coronation, was a hive of activity as final preparations were made for the ceremony. The ancient stone walls of the abbey seemed to resonate with the weight of history, bearing witness to centuries of royal coronations and sacred events. The hallowed halls were filled with the harmonious voices of the choir as they practiced the hymns that would accompany the crowning of the new monarch. As the hour of the coronation drew near, the streets of London fell into a hushed silence, as if the city itself were holding its breath. This quiet reverence was punctuated by the distant tolling of church bells and the rhythmic beat of the drums, heralding the beginning of the royal procession. As the carriage carrying King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla emerged, the crowd erupted into cheers and applause, their voices blending together in a joyous cacophony. The radiant smiles on the faces of the royal couple seemed to reflect the love and adoration of their people as they waved graciously to the throngs of well-wishers who had come to share in this historic event. On this unforgettable day, the streets of London became a living testament to the unity, hope, and resilience of the British nation. The vibrant flags and flowers, the eager faces of the citizens, and the echoes of history that resonated throughout the city all came together to create a tapestry of celebration that would be etched in the hearts and minds of those who had the privilege to witness it. As the royal carriage approached the hallowed grounds of Westminster Abbey, the anticipation and excitement in the air reached a crescendo. The streets were lined with thousands of well-wishers, their eyes shining with pride and emotion as they caught a glimpse of their future king and queen consort. The majestic horses drew the carriage to a halt in front of the abbey's grand entrance, their heads held high and their silken manes glistening in the sunlight. The moment King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla stepped out of the carriage, a fanfare of trumpets sounded, announcing their arrival. They were greeted by the Archbishop of Canterbury, who stood at the top of the abbey's steps, clad in his ceremonial robes. With grace and dignity, the royal couple ascended the steps, pausing to offer a final wave to the cheering crowd before disappearing into the hallowed halls of Westminster Abbey. As the heavy oak doors closed behind them, a reverent silence fell over the gathered congregation. The air inside the abbey was cool and still, the shafts of sunlight streaming through the stained glass windows casting a kaleidoscope of colors onto the ancient stone floor. The magnificent Gothic architecture seemed to reach towards the heavens, as if offering a silent prayer for the success of the new king's reign. The coronation ceremony commenced with a solemn procession as the robed clergy, nobility, and distinguished guests made their way down the center aisle. The hauntingly beautiful voices of the choir filled the abbey, their hymns soaring to the vaulted ceilings, creating an atmosphere of reverence and awe. At the heart of the ceremony was the sacred moment when the Archbishop of Canterbury anointed King Charles III with holy oil, marking him as the chosen leader of the British people. The king then donned the traditional regalia, including the crimson robe and the glittering St. Edward's crown. The weight of the crown symbolized the immense responsibility he now bore as the sovereign of the United Kingdom. Queen Consort Camilla, in her elegant gown and delicate tiara, stood by her husband's side, her presence a testament to their shared commitment to their people and their country. As King Charles III took his oath, promising to uphold the laws and protect, the majestic notes swelled within the hallowed halls of Westminster Abbey, each harmony imbued with the profound emotion and reverence that this historic event inspired. The ancient stone walls seemed to vibrate with the power of their voices, as the hymn rose to the soaring, vaulted ceilings and echoed through the storied chambers. The congregation, deeply moved by the sacred ritual they had just witnessed, found themselves overcome with emotion. As the majestic anthem washed over them, they could not help but join in, lending their voices to the glorious chorus. Together, they sang with fervor, their voices united in celebration and devotion to their newly crowned king. Outside the abbey, thousands of people who had gathered in the streets, unable to contain their excitement, joined in the anthem. The jubilant sound of their voices filled the air as the words of "God Save the King" reverberated through the city streets, creating a symphony of hope, loyalty, and unity. The soaring melody seemed to infuse the very fabric of London, as if the entire city were rejoicing in the dawn of a new era. As the final notes of the anthem faded, an immense sense of pride and belonging swept through the hearts of all who had borne witness to this moment. The shared experience of singing "God Save the King" created an indelible bond between the people of the United Kingdom, reminding them of the strength and resilience that had carried them through centuries of triumph and tribulation. As the heavy oak doors of Westminster Abbey slowly swung open, a hush fell over the crowd that had gathered outside. The first glimpse of King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla, now adorned with the symbols of their royal status, sent a surge of exhilaration through the sea of onlookers. As they emerged onto the sunlit steps, the crowd erupted in a thunderous ovation, their voices blending into a euphoric symphony of cheers, laughter, and tears of joy. The pealing of bells from churches across the city joined the jubilant chorus, their sonorous tones announcing the beginning of a new reign. Their joyful resonance filled the air, creating an atmosphere of hope and unity that seemed to envelop the entire city. King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla, their faces aglow with joy and determination, descended the steps of Westminster Abbey and approached the waiting carriage. As they took their place on the plush velvet seats, they exchanged a glance of shared love and commitment, ready to embark on the journey that lay ahead as the leaders of their nation. With a crack of the whip and a clatter of hooves, the magnificent horses began to pull the carriage forward, initiating the jubilant procession through the streets of London. The streets were awash with color and movement, as countless well-wishers waved flags and threw flower petals in the path of the royal couple, their faces beaming with pride and adoration. The procession meandered through the city, passing iconic landmarks and historic sites, as if retracing the rich tapestry of Britain's past while simultaneously embracing the promise of a bright future. Along the route, people from all walks of life had come to celebrate and catch a glimpse of their new king and queen consort. Their joyous cheers and heartfelt words of support were a testament to the love and loyalty of the British people as they wholeheartedly embraced their new monarchs and the era of benevolent rule that lay ahead. As the sun began its slow descent towards the horizon, casting a warm golden light over the city, the procession drew to a close. As King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla returned to Buckingham Palace, they carried with them the love, hope, and devotion of their people, emboldened by the knowledge that they were supported and cherished by the nation they were now destined to lead. As twilight descended upon the city, casting a gentle, dusky glow over the skyline, the excitement and fanfare of the day began to give way to a tranquil stillness. The streets, once filled with laughter and cheers, slowly emptied as families and friends returned to their homes, their hearts brimming with warmth and contentment from the day's historic events. The rhythmic, distant tolling of church bells resonated through the evening air, their soothing melody echoing the heartbeat of a city at rest. The gentle rustling of leaves in the soft evening breeze whispered a lullaby of peace and serenity, as if nature itself was cradling the city in its embrace. as the stars began to adorn the night sky, their twinkling lights cast. In the quiet sanctuary of their homes, the people of the United Kingdom drifted into a peaceful slumber, their dreams filled with the promise of a bright future under the benevolent rule of King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla. Each breath they took carried with it the soothing essence of unity, as they were cradled in the collective embrace of a nation at peace. As you too find yourself enveloped in this serene atmosphere, allow the soothing rhythm of the evening to lull you into a deep, restful sleep. As your eyes grow heavy and your thoughts begin to quiet, let the memories of the day's events and the tranquil melody of the night guide you towards a realm of peace and rejuvenation. Drift gently into the welcoming arms of slumber, knowing that the dawn will bring with it the light of a new day, filled with the love, hope, and unity that the coronation of King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla has inspired. Sleep well and dream of a world united in harmony, where the promise of a